Let's lock in. Would a victory over Agit Kabayel revive Anthony Joshua's career? Look, Anthony Joshua has had more ups and downs in his career than the stock exchange. But Anthony Joshua does build himself back up when he falls down. And he's allowed to do that because he's a man who takes risk. Anthony Joshua steps in the ring with the best heavyweights in the world, and he lets the chips fall where they may. And diehard boxing fans respect that. When you're a diehard boxing fan, the only thing you could ask of a fighter is give us the fights we want to see. And Anthony Joshua is one who has never shied away from that. Even now, he's willing to fight Tyson Fury if Tyson Fury comes back. That's just the type of guy Anthony Joshua is. And I appreciate AJ. So I will be a fan of Anthony Joshua, win, lose, or draw. Right? Not a fanboy, because if he loses, I'm going to be the first one to come out here and tell you that he lost. But it's the type of fighter who's willing to take the risk, even when it can result in an L, that diehard boxing fans love and respect, and AJ is that guy. Well, there's a guy who's ascending to the top of the heavyweight division. His name is Agit Kabayel. He has been beating on these so-called boogeymen. And now what we want, and what Agit Kabayel wants, is the opportunity to prove himself at the top level. And at this particular point in time, if Agit Kabayel fought Anthony Joshua, I wouldn't be surprised if Kabayel would be the favorite. So if you're Anthony Joshua, you step in there with a guy who just stopped Big Bang the way he did, a guy who beat Frank Sanchez, who was labeled as another boogeyman, and a guy who beat the Russian boogeyman, and Anthony Joshua goes in there and beats him, then that would give Anthony Joshua some buzz again, because he went and he stopped the guy who everyone was saying is the boogeyman slayer and who everyone was saying has earned a shot. That would legitimately put Anthony Joshua back in line for another title shot. Now that Bacoli got sparked out by Joseph Parker, to me, I think this would be the fight that could get Anthony Joshua back into the discussion as still being dangerous, deserving a shot. Because now that Bacoli got sparked out, they were talking about doing that fight in the Congo, but that fight won't mean as much now. And to prove that fight won't mean as much now, Bacoli versus F.A. Japa is no longer for the IBF Eliminator. So that fight kind of lost some steam and some luster because of Martin Bacoli's performance. But opportunity did present itself in the form of a man who has just been grinding, who has just been putting on sensational performance after sensational performance on cards in Riyadh season. And that man is Agit Kabayel. Agit Kabayel comes with a lot of danger to someone like Anthony Joshua, because Andy Ruiz gave him trouble. And Alexander Usyk gave him trouble. Agit Kabayel is the type of fighter who's, we would say, a little bit of a mixture of Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk and Andy Ruiz in terms of his skill set, how he's built. But Anthony Joshua, if he boxed Agit Kabayel the way he boxed Andy Ruiz, may have a shot. Or maybe he's too dangerous, because, again, like I said, if that fight happens, I wouldn't be surprised if the odds makers make Agit Kabayel the favorite in that fight, because Agit Kabayel has been taking out boogeyman after boogeyman after boogeyman. But to me, that's a fight that could revive Anthony Joshua's career, because if he goes in there and he beats Agit Kabayel, then that everyone would be like, hey, he took out a legitimate opponent, which is a far cry from how we used to treat Agit Kabayel when Tyson Fury used to name him as a potential opponent. And now when you look back, that may have been a huge mistake if Tyson Fury would have done that. But AJ should be considering Agit Kabayel as an opponent, especially with what he's done on 3 massive cards in Riyadh season. So he's somewhat of a household name now. For those who tuned into those major cards and saw his work and what he's done, you can't tell me they won't be like, hey, I want to see that guy. He might knock AJ off. He might even be the favorite. there's probably I know for a fact there's several people who, if they announce that fight, would be like, AJ can't beat him. AJ can't beat him. I'm gonna be honest with you. If they announce that fight, I'll probably pick AJ. I'll be rooting for AJ. As I stated, I'm an Anthony Joshua fan. I like Anthony Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua is good for boxing because he's one of the faces. He helps propel the sport forward in terms of what he generates in his popularity. But I won't be confident in that pick. And to be honest with you, I'm making that pick because of all the reasons I stated and not because I think, well, skill-wise, he is. I wish Anthony Joshua fought like this. I got 6 rounds to knock you out, and if I don't, then to hell with it. I wish he went in there with bad intentions, trying to knock people out, trying to land a big punch, trying to be the first one to land a big punch. That's why he lost to Daniel Dubois. The whole time, Daniel Dubois understands I have to be the first one to land a big punch, and Anthony Joshua still trying to box him like he's some untalented person who doesn't deserve to be in the ring with him. And then Daniel Dubois was the first one to land a big punch and hurt Anthony Joshua. Now Anthony Joshua stuck in recovery mode, and he just never was able to get out of it. And then when he finally did land a punch to hurt Daniel Dubois, it was after he was dropped several times. So he was sloppy on the attack, which he was advised to do by Ben Davison, and got clipped. So again, if you're Anthony Joshua, I don't know why you're so enamored with being a magnificent boxer when you were blessed with all the gifts to knock someone's head off. Just go in there and try to knock someone's head off. And if you don't do that, then fine. If you get knocked out trying to knock someone else's head off, then we could all understand. But when you get knocked out trying to be the 6'6", 250-pound version of Muhammad Ali, we don't get it. Because that's just not what you were built to do. Usyk's built to do that. Usyk's everything. I think they even got the same birthday. I think Usyk and Muhammad Ali got the same birthday. They have similar builds. Usyk's a little heavier, but Usyk is built to be Muhammad Ali. Anthony Joshua, you're not built to be Muhammad Ali. You're built to be George Foreman. You're built to be Lennox Lewis. You're built to be Vladimir Klitschko. You're built to be one of those heavyweights who lands punishing punches on you and try to get you out. You're not built to bounce around the ring, and that's just not in your genetic makeup. It's just not what you're built to do. But you know how it is. Everyone wants everyone. You are your skill set to some extent. Just because you have the ability to do something and do something at a decent level, it doesn't mean that that's the most effective way for you to do, especially if you're going to go against someone who does it better than you. If you're 6'8" and you're playing against Steph Curry, yeah, you may be able to shoot some threes, but Steph's going to make more than you. So your best bet is to get Steph in the post and score and hope that he misses some threes. And by time the game ends, your efficiency with the twos would be enough to offset the number of three-pointers he makes, because he's going to miss a lot too. Because naturally, the closer you are to the basket, the higher your percentage. So keep taking high percentage shots. Let him take the 40%. And if he hits it at 40, 45%, cool. But what if he hits it at 30%? If he hits it at 32%, your efficiency will offset. That's how you got to think as a boxer, especially if you're someone like Anthony Joshua. Like you can't play that game. You can't, I want to keep stuff in the reserves. No, your reserves never going to match Usyk's reserves. Never. Maybe even Agit Kabayel. AJ, your reserves may never match Agit Kabayel's reserves just based on how you're built physically and based on how he's built physically. All your muscles require a lot of oxygen. It requires a lot of oxygen to get to those muscles. And you're naturally muscular, bro. So anyways, getting back to the point, though, Agit Kabayel has emerged as a serious heavyweight contender, one who I would be happy and thrilled to see Agit Kabayel get a title shot personally. So I think Anthony Joshua versus Agit Kabayel is a big fight that can be made, and it would be beneficial to both of their careers. Whoever wins would accrue a huge benefit. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, I try to get to all the comments, but if I can't, it doesn't mean I don't see them. I appreciate the participation in the discussion. Hit the like button, especially at this stage in the channel. It does help to grow the channel, and it does help the video so more people can see it. And also the podcast. If you want to hear the content, but you don't have the ability to watch an actual video, you can listen to it on the podcast. And a lot of people do. So I appreciate all those who watch or listen via the podcast. Thank you for rocking with me. It's Caden. I'm out. Peace.